Hello. A day has gone by since I recorded the draft. I built my deck. I'm still absolutely stunned that I built this deck, that I built the deck with 3 Ruthless Strangers. I'm playing 2 of the Stonescar Strangers. It's not a very good card. I had trouble fitting in all of the playables and deciding, once I went deep on the Strangers in the draft, I had to decide all over again that I wanted to go deep on the Strangers in the deck. Because we could have just ignored the Strangers theme and had a pretty respectable aggro deck. I think this is going to be a very draw-dependent, very aggressive deck. So, anything could happen. This is pretty wild. Let's see how it goes. It might be, queuing times might be a little longer now because last night I was playing at I don't know, 11 p.m. when I think a lot of other people are online. Now it's 1 p.m., so I don't think all that many people are playing. It seems like a sweet hand, doesn't it? Pretty darn aggressive. All right. Let's see how our Strangers do. Okay. So I would have played the Lethrai Ranger. In this situation, though, I think I want to put down Obsidian Golem as a blocker for their Lethrai Ranger. And then what we're going to try to do is hope that they tap out and don't play a blocker. Well, I don't know how likely that is, but we are going to hope to put the Warhelm on the Lethrai Ranger and get in there. Okay, so that's the combination that I wanted last game. The whole reason that I was playing Overwhelm, or part of the reason. Alright, so they did not play a blocker with their extra mana, which means that we are also going to get to activate, I think. They could have a Torch, so this is a risky situation, but doesn't look like they do, so we also get to activate our Lethrai Ranger, which is pretty nice. I'm concerned I'm not actually playing enough fodder for Ravenous Thornbeast, but unless the point of your deck is recursion, playing fodder for a card like Ravenous Thornbeast just means playing not good cards, which is not the strategy that I like to adopt. So I think the first thing that we do is we offer the trade with the 5/4. And then we're going to put the Obsidian Armor on the 2/1 and leave it back to block because they don't seem to have any removal. I could also put the Obsidian Armor on the 5/4 to make it a 7/6 and make it not blockable, but this thing is presumably going to be deadly sooner or later, so having a bigger thing doesn't matter. And I think they're going to trade here. Unless they're holding 2 Shadow Sigils or something. Okay. So if they offer, I'll block the this card. They did not offer. I will attack to get that Warcry in, and then play Ashara, who breaks the stalemate. This card is better attacking than it is blocking, because it has Warcry. And an extra power over their cards. Presumably this is going to get deadly next turn, which is fine by us so long as we get to keep our Ashara. There it is. I'm interested in the fact that they didn't attack. Pretty sure I just put the Beastcaller's Amulet on Ashara, right? It has Quick Strike and Deadly. Quick Draw and Deadly, I mean. Sure, I mean, I don't really see why I wouldn't. Alright, and then, yeah, I will play the Thornbeast. More creatures is good. Okay. I'll trade if they attack, which they didn't. So we're just going to keep pressing in until they find an answer for this card. This card is a 3/2, so I might as well have it on the board. Next turn, if they don't play another blocker, which they just did, so never mind. So I can kill this card, go in with everything. They kind of pretty much just have to block this, and they're taking 10 damage. Wait, this is not a fast spell, is it? It is. But I want to kill this before declaring attackers, so that they don't get the chance to block one of my guys. Kind of have to block a Shara, right? I mean, I'm going to get a 5/5 otherwise. Not that that's like the only reason that they're in trouble, but I don't know what outs they have. They probably just don't have any outs if I have this board and a 5/5. All right, cool. So that was a pretty nice hand. I achieved gold in the draft league. Woohoo. All right. I think this, I was just about to say, I think this deck is going to have a lot of good hands because we're playing so many 1 and 2 drops, particularly ones that interact well with each other. But we got a terrible hand and then mulliganed into a super awkward hand. So that this banner is pretty darn bad. Okay, I just made a very serious misplay for anyone keeping track at home. Of course, with no 1-cost cards in my hand, I should have played the Stonescar banner so that I would have the depleted mana on the first turn when I wasn't going to play anything anyways, and then played a Sigil that wouldn't be depleted on the second turn, and in that case I would have Obsidian Golem out now. I don't think it turned out to matter in this game, but obviously that's completely the wrong decision. It was a mistake on my part. It's worse than the Sigils that say depleted unless you have a Sigil in your hand, because those can be active on your first turn. Play this guy before attacks to pump up this guy, and then go in for 5. Cool. And we have a fast spell for if they have ambush, which they don't. Although I'm actually not sure there's an ambush. There are, yeah. I don't know if they have access with this mana to an ambush card that has a single faction. So we're hoping to hit 5 mana to turn these two deadly. That's our long-term game plan here. It's unlikely that Annihilate is going to be good against the deck that's playing 3 or more colors. Oh, I take it back. So that's going to get... Yeah, that's going to get annihilated. I don't want it trading with one of my Ruthless Strangers. Going for a whole bunch, 8 damage, and play a Lethrai Ranger. So now we're hoping that whatever comes down can get weakened by Amethyst Acolyte to the point that I get to keep going in for beats. Like, I think their deck is... My deck is not the deck that my opponent wanted to play against, because it looks like they are not an aggressive deck, to say the least. I mean... All right. I'm actually going to pause the recording again because my cats are being very noisy in the background, and I want to make sure that the sound quality is okay.